On a quiet Tuesday, without a press release, without a live stream, and without a single word from Kyoto, Nintendo did something that has not been done in over a decade. They moved first. For years, Nintendo has been the company that watches. They let others chase trends. Let others race into new hardware. Let others pour billions into the loudest, flashiest version of tomorrow. And then, with no fanfare at all, Nintendo stepped into a corner of the industry that nobody was guarding, and laid a flag. By the time the rest of the world noticed, the move was already over. To understand why this matters, you have to remember where Nintendo has been. The Wii was a joke to the industry, until it wasn't. The Switch was called a gimmick, until it sold 150 million units. The company has made a habit of letting critics laugh, and then quietly rewriting the rules of an entire market. So when something unusual starts happening inside Nintendo's development pipeline, people pay attention. And right now, the signals coming out of Japan are louder than anything we have heard in years. Start with the patents. In the last 12 months, Nintendo has filed a string of new filings that engineers describe as unusually aggressive. Generative world building. Adaptive difficulty driven by player behavior. A handheld architecture that does not match anything currently on the market. On their own, each patent is small. Together, they paint a picture. A picture of a device that does not just play games. A device that builds them as you play. If even half of these filings make it into a shipping product, the next generation of handhelds will not look like anything we recognize. Then there is the talent. Within the last year, Nintendo has quietly pulled in researchers from some of the most advanced AI labs in the world. Not for marketing. Not for buzz. For build work. Insiders describe small, secretive teams operating on the same Kyoto campus that built the original Mario. The kind of teams you only form when the project is already underway. The kind of teams that suggest a launch window that is closer than anyone outside the company is being told. Now layer in the leaks. Supply chain whispers out of Asia are pointing to component orders that exceed anything Nintendo would need for a mid-cycle refresh. We are not talking about a Switch Pro. We are talking about a new category. A device designed for a world where games are no longer just played, but generated. Where your save file is not just a record, but a seed. Where the next Zelda, the next Mario, the next great Nintendo moment, may not be the same game twice. And that is what makes this moment feel different. Nintendo is not reacting. They are not chasing the latest trend in graphics cards or VR headsets. They are betting on something stranger. Something older. The idea that the most powerful thing a console can do is disappear, and leave you inside a world that feels alive. If they are right, the industry will follow. If they are wrong, they will simply wait. That is the part the competition never seems to understand about Kyoto. So what do we actually know, right now, today? We know the patents are real. We know the hires are real. We know the supply chain is moving in ways that do not line up with a quiet year. What we do not know is the name, the date, or the shape of what comes next. But history suggests we will not have to wait long. Nintendo does not tease. Nintendo does not leak on purpose. Nintendo simply builds, in silence, until the day the world is suddenly playing by their rules again. The next era of gaming will not be decided in a keynote, or a trailer drop, or a viral tweet. It will be decided in a small office in Kyoto, by a team most of the world will never know exists, working on a machine most of the world will not see coming. And on the day it arrives, the rest of the industry will do what it always does. It will call it a gimmick. And then, slowly, it will follow. Because that is how this story always ends. With Nintendo, and everyone else.